KG, the 15-time All-Star, back here on the show. How are you, KG?
I'm well, man. How you doing, Rich? Thanks for having me, man.
You got it. You have to give Bernard King a hug from me. I know that might be odd and awkward, but as a kid from New York City, this guy is the man. End of story.
Listen, I get it. I totally understand. Rich, I'm right there with you. I'm going to have to do a group hug. The hell with just one hug. I'm going to have to hug everybody. I told Lisa, hey, look, get over it. Hugs all day. I've never been so excited about one show. Obviously, when the guys came on last year and they all booked, I was super excited because I know our dynamic. But it's just this show is about greatness and hearing greatness. I feel like I'm amongst my uncles getting ready to hear some great stories. So I'm definitely just excited about this. I didn't think we were going to be able to get this all together just because of scheduling. But, man, to put this all together and got it and everybody's on it, this is it. This is it, Rich. This is the one right here.
Well, you've got the wingspan for the group hug, Kevin. You can get them all in there. I know that. What do you hope to glean? What might you not already know that you hope to glean from this conversation?
Listen, anytime you get greats into the room, it's always about learning. And I'm always trying to understand. I'm always trying to understand what made Oscar a great player. I want to understand what made George Gervin a great player. The interaction between George Gervin and Dr. J, the style, the flair, your vision. Who was your inspirations? We've heard this, but you haven't had a sit-down to where you hear it from them in a relaxed setting, in the setting where you hear them speak about today's game and the players that they see emulate, if not mimic themselves, their views on some of these younger guys, the views on the game today, the views on the management of the game. Like, nobody's really taken the older players as OGs and sat them down and actually let them talk, let them hear on how the league is curated. You know, Oscar Robertson was really the reason for free agency these days. No one really knows that. That's like a trivia question that you ask at Christmas or Thanksgiving or something, right? You don't know that. I want to get into that. I want to hear those challenges. I think it's good to understand as a league, as young players in it, to understand where you're coming from and the things that come before you. Understanding that vision might not only give you something but stimulate you in another way to get you to think that, wow, you know, this is what come before me. And the appreciation that you should have with that. Man, I think that's one of them lost things in the game, but I'm just going to recirculate what I think that everybody don't know and have a great conversation and try to have a great show.
Well, I look forward to that. Kevin Garnett's, again, Area 21 with the Big O, Dr. J, the Iceman, Bernard King, and Lisa Leslie. That's on TNT on Thursday night. What do you think is the common thread for greatness, and how much do you see that in the league today, Kevin?
The attitude, the perception, you know, like attitude is everything. I would like to say that I would like to think that what's common today that was very common back in the day is the competitiveness of wanting to be the best, the cream of the crop, standing out. You know, you're only going to have 4 or 5 great players. You know, back in the days when those guys played with exceptional talent on your team, they had like 4 or 5 greats on their team. You're starting to see today's game go back to that 3 or 4 guys that you got to have be major. That could be easily the star on another team. Back in the Lakers in the 80s and 90s, even before that, you had stacked teams where you had Big O and, you know, Kareem. A lot of people don't know they had a hell of a cast to go with that Milwaukee team. Like to go to these teams and see the similarities and errors, although we don't like it because we want, obviously, talent to be spread out. But when you think about when talent does get together and be legendary, like, you know, the Warriors are, very similar to a lot of the teams that was in the ABA and the early NBA. Those are similarities there. People are not even putting those together. Guess what? I'm going to put them together, and then we're going to talk about it. So I think there's a lot of similarities in, obviously, ABA, NBA to the common to the present NBA.
Well, let's talk about one team that does have a nice collection of all-star players, the one in Oklahoma City, and obviously Oscar Robertson was mentioned almost every day last year because of what Russell Westbrook was doing. Now you add Paul George and Carmelo to the mix, and they're 12 and 14 right now. KG, why do you think that is?
Listen, let me say something to everybody, man. This is my 2 cents on this. Bringing talent together is one obstacle, okay? That's one challenge. Getting that to be on the same page is another challenge. These are all obstacles, but as a team, you figure it out. And that's how you really grow. Listen, nothing is instant like coffee when it comes to putting a chemistry or formula together. OKC is figuring this thing out. What it is that everybody's expecting them to be ahead of the curve, so to speak, as far as figuring it out. And it's not that easy. They got to play defense. They got to figure out rotations. They got to figure out the roles on here. You know, it's not just you coming to the gym, hey, I was playing with you in the summertime. No, we have a system here. And then another thing, too, I don't ever want to go against Billy Donovan. He's a really, really great coach. I really feel like he has the keys to it, but some things it's not connecting. They have a disconnect somewhere. And it's on everybody, and everybody has to look at themselves in the mirror. And I think that they're thinking that they're better than probably what they are, and they're not that good right now. And they got to face that, but at the same time, do something about that. And it's much as a challenge for everybody to figure it out. Cleveland had the same thing. Can't tell me Cleveland has LeBron, right? Well, OKC has Westbrook. You know, you can't tell me they was a better team last year with less than they're a worse team with more. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Science in that doesn't add up. But it's on them to figure it out. And no one's going to come in here and feel sorry. It's just going to be a bunch of questions asked. And they got to be the ones to answer.
And it's just, you just can't figure things out sometimes, too. How about this? Kawhi Leonard comes back and the Spurs lose to the Mavericks. I mean, how do you even put two and two together and come up with 4 on that one, Kevin?
Listen, I think we're putting the expectancy of our star players or our dynamic players because, yeah, he was great. He only played 16 minutes. He had a minute restriction. Now, if he played 39 minutes or 40 minutes, that might be different. I don't know what could have happened. But we'd have seen probably 25 to 30 more minutes of him performing that way. You understand? So I think it's society and a little bit of us expecting, you know, hey, your best player came back. Y'all should have won. Well, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Now, if this was a split, we'd be all effed up, right? So, you know, it all goes out the window, you know? Yeah. They got to answer these questions, though. But it's not an instant thing. I think chemistry is something that's totally underrated. Mm-hmm. I think we put a lot of press on it, and we just got to give it time, man. I think OKC is going to be a better team come the second half, or that I'm hoping, because it takes you time to figure it out. It's a real struggle.
Yeah, and then, you know, obviously the Cavs starting poorly, and then they go on fire, and then Isaiah Thomas is going to come back. How do you think that's going to be transitioned? Will it be seamless, or we're going to just see the same thing that we've been talking about the past few minutes, Kevin?
Look, hey, Rich, you ever watch? I don't watch too much of it, but you ever seen those shows where the kind of the nerds or the geeks have these like motorized like tanks and they're made of like,
the battle bots. The battle bots.
Yeah. And they're just running each other over, and whoever knocks the one over and it's done. I look at the league like that. Cleveland is like that. It's like that big old armored little tank that has a scope and all type of weapons on it, right? Mm-hmm. They're getting ready to put another piece of weapon on top of their tank. And they have a closer in the fourth quarter. They have another force that can give you something. Not only that, another facilitator, another force that they're getting ready to add into the mix. Derrick Rose coming back, being more soundly in mind and body, coming back from injury. You're going to start to see these teams get better and better and better from a chemistry perspective. Okay, now whether that, it gets you wins or losses, whether it reflects on wins or losses, I don't know about that. But I'm talking about chemistry. You want a strong bond going into the playoffs, and adding all these pieces. IT coming back around Christmas, D Rose coming back shortly after. Man, you're going to start seeing this team. You're going to start expecting this team to be something different just because of the win.
So then let's wrap things up by continuing this battle bot conversation. The Cavs bot is going to go against the Celtics bot, and the winner of that bot is going to go against the Warrior bot. Give me the bot that breaks this idea up as we're sitting here right now, mid-December. Give me the bot that we're not expecting to be botting.
Hey, listen. It's the bot right now is going to be Celtics. Mm-hmm. It's going to obviously be Cleveland. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, Washington is going to make a run. Believe it. They're going through their struggles right now.
Okay.
Toronto is going to shock. They're going to continue to get better. This is just, I'm throwing it.
Sure.
Houston is going to be there. Their bot is going to be there. The Warriors bot is going to be there. And OKC is going to get it together. They're going to have their bot there.
What about the Minnesota bot?
What about little mini bots like Philly bot? I ain't talked about the mini Minnesota bot that's going to, find their way in there. But those bots are not going nowhere.
What about the LaVar bot? Is that going to be in Lithuania or Los Angeles?
No. That bot, that's got to wait. That's got to put some more pieces on it. It's got to add, their wheels ain't as sturdy. It's got to have a little more armor on it,
Right.
Got to get in the weight room and build this bot. You know what I'm saying?
What would you have been like? What would life been like for Kevin Garnett if you were in Lithuania as a 16-year-old? What would have been like for you, KG?
Yeah, that would have been a culture shock. But I don't know my pops. I've never had a dad. I don't know, but I like to think that his dad is doing what's in the best interest of what he feels is in the best interest for his kids to succeed. I don't like the talks of this Leangelo not having an opportunity to make the league. It seems like they're already kind of blackballing, if not putting that out there, that he's not going to have a chance. I think every kid needs a chance to be able to see if he's equipped to be able to be in the league or not. I don't think that you should put a penalty or a flaw on the kid just because of something that he did in his past. I think you should give him a chance to be able to grow and expect that growth. And I've been seeing a lot of stuff out just in publications, just out in readings that, he's not good enough to be this, he's not good. But he was good enough to go to the UCLA, and before he got in trouble, he was good enough to play. So why isn't he good enough to go to the league now or even have a chance to? So I didn't understand that. And I just foresee a blackballing coming just because of it. I mean, obviously it's got a whole nother layers on it when the president got into it. And I don't know. I just want to see him have a chance at. But listen, culture shock, that would have been a culture shock for me. It's still basketball. And you got to understand, those are prideful players in that league. And it's not all, glitz and glamour. But they will come out of that better. They'll come out experienced. And I like to think that they will use that experience in their futures and making some decisions for themselves. It's not all a bad thing because it's going to be an experience in it.
Well, we'll see Lonzo against the Cavs and the Warriors hosting the Mavericks. That's the doubleheader tomorrow night on TNT. That includes an Area 21 with you, Kevin Garnett, Oscar Robertson, Dr. J, George Gervin, Lisa Leslie, and once again, a nice big hug from me to Bernard King, please.
I'm definitely going to do that.
Excellent.
Rich, thank you for having me, man. I'm going to try to do a super with my wingspan. I'm going to see if I can get everybody.
Get them all in there. Yes.
This.
Wingspan it. I can't wait to see that, KG. Thanks for the call, as always. Yep. We'll chat soon.
Thank you, man. All the best, Rich.
Same here. That's Kevin Garnett at KG Area 21.
The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.